We are biologically hardwired to run away from pain. So, what happens in the brain when, the only way to survive feels like running directly towards it?
Right. It's a huge question. Today we're pulling from, well, clinical psychology journals and some really powerful firsthand accounts to understand the deeply complex psychology behind self-inflicted harm.
And to be totally clear to you listening, our mission for this deep dive isn't to validate this behavior as a healthy solution. Not at all.
No, exact.
We're really trying to look past the stigma here to uncover what the texts call the hidden logic of suffering.
Yeah. Understanding why someone might actually choose physical pain when they're, you know, already hurting so much. Let's unpack this.
So to figure out why someone chooses physical pain, we kind of have to look at what physical pain accomplishes that internal emotional pain doesn't, right?
Spot on. When you read through these clinical case studies, you realize that self-harm is, well, it's rarely about the surface level act itself. It actually functions as a translation.
Translation. Oh, wow. I really like that framing.
Yeah, because internal pain, I mean, severe trauma, overwhelm, or even just total numbness, it's invisible.
Yeah.
And it feels endless.
Right. Like there was this one anonymized quote in the journals that really stood out. A patient described their anxiety as a screaming siren in an empty room.
That is such a striking image.
It really is. You
Yeah.
can't touch it and you just can't turn it off.
And the human brain gets utterly exhausted by that kind of formless threat.
Yeah.
Physical pain, however, it provides a really sharp contrast.
Because it's visible.
Yes, visible, temporary, and entirely under the person's control. It forces the nervous system to basically collapse all that spiraling, abstract panic into a single, localized point of sensation.
It's almost like trying to catch mess, right? Emotional
Mhm.
spiraling is so formless you just can't grasp it.
Exactly.
But inflicting physical pain is like turning that smoke into a solid block of wood. It's hard and, well, it hurts to punch, but at least it has defined edges.
Right, you can see it.
Yeah, and for a brief moment, you can actually manage it.
And that grounding effect is just incredibly powerful. It shifts our whole understanding of the act from this idea of irrational self-destruction to uh, a desperate, imperfect tool for emotional regulation.
I see.
The brain is basically using physical trauma to forcefully interrupt a psychological spiral.
Wait, I'm struggling with this a bit, though. If making the pain physical actually works to ground the nervous system, to shut off the siren, why is it considered such a flawed mechanism?
That's the core question, yeah?
Like, why isn't it just viewed as a harsh but ultimately effective coping strategy?
Because the relief is, well, it's biologically and psychologically hollow.
How so?
When a person translates emotional overwhelm into physical injury, the body releases a flood of endorphins to cope with the trauma.
Oh, right. The body's natural painkiller.
Exactly. That creates a temporary soothing effect. But when those endorphins fade, the underlying structure, I mean, the trauma, the environment, or the mental illness causing the invisible pain, it's completely unchanged.
Ah, so the block of wood basically evaporates and you're just left choking on the smoke all over again.
That's exactly it. And worse than that, the brain builds a tolerance
Wait, really? A tolerance to pain?
to the chemical release.
Uh-huh.
The clinical data shows this dangerous cyclical behavioral loop. The temporary chemical relief reinforces the act, meaning the next time the smoke rolls in, the brain immediately demands that physical release.
Wow. So it eventually requires more severe action to achieve the same momentary grounding.
Precisely. It creates an escalating trap.
Man, so the behavior reinforces the very instability it's trying to resolve.
Which brings us to the core lesson of these journals. The deeper takeaway isn't really about the act itself.
Right.
It's about the profound human needs driving it. The need for control, the need to feel something instead of numbness, and the desperate need to have invisible pain acknowledged as real.
Because the method is incredibly harmful, but like you said, the needs are entirely valid.
Absolutely valid.
So what does this all mean for you listening? I think it means we need to change the fundamental question we ask when we encounter these struggles in society.
We have to stop asking, why would someone do this?
Exactly, and start asking, what are they trying to solve?
Viewing it as a translation of hidden pain rather than, madness is where real understanding begins.
It all comes back to that desperation to make invisible pain real. And it leaves you with this to ponder. How much does a society that forces people to hide or suppress their emotional struggle, to keep their pain invisible like smoke, inadvertently fuel the desperate need for these physical translations?